In the second half, especially in the last few drives, it seemed like you guys had a lot of PBUs and huge moments, Shaheem's and Akeem's, and there were several. What's the balance there between, like in Shaheem's case, I mean, if he doesn't make that play, it could be bad news. I mean, how do they? What's their decision-making process, and how well did they attack the ball?
Yeah, I think we call it gloving the ball, and we're in a lot of match coverage, so that's going to happen a lot. That you're going to be in phase, and there were some critical plays there. Kalen DeLoach had one, Jamie had one, Akeem had one, Shaheem had one. Just a lot of one-on-one combat plays around the football. So those are plays that we expect to make. We have to make if we're going to be a good football team. And it was in critical times last night or on Friday night, our guys stepped up and made those one-on-ones, and that was critical.
Kind of going off that, Adam, it seemed like there was a settling down of sorts on the defense. Was that just a matter of guys kind of getting used to the speed of that team, or was there anything drastically schematically that was done to settle them in?
Yeah, I mean, we missed too many tackles Friday night, for sure. We probably gave up over 150 yards and missed tackles, and that's nowhere near where we want to be. Some credit to them too. They had good open field runners, but we've got to cut those numbers down significantly. The proudest thing of it was just, there were ups and downs throughout that game, but our guys settled down throughout it, and there wasn't blank stares. It wasn't looking around. There was more of eye contact, and guys reassuring each other when they made a mistake. This is why it won't happen again, and that's affirming for me. To be on the sideline, and in past it's usually been me, trying to not only address and fix things, but also uplift people, and that's changing, and our guys are taking ownership of it, and I think that came to why it got steadied there at one point. It was a game. We had three and outs. We had 3 takeaways. Had a 4th down stop. Those were all good things, but it was some of those in between moments that we've got to get settled down a little bit.
You talk about the missed tackles. I don't know if you even factor in what Malik does, because it seems like he seems like a different kind of runner than maybe you would see. And is it one of those things where you just have to be on the field with it to really know? And how did Kalen do as kind of that spy?
Well, we kind of had multiple people, at different times. I mean, listen, when you play against really good players, whether it's a wide out that we'll get this week, or last week with the quarterback, and each game offers different situations that you got to really put attention to. You got to make sure that you don't over put attention, so you're weak in other areas too. But listen, when you play against guys that play at certain speeds that you don't replicate all the time, it's challenging. But that's why you recruit really good players, and that's why you try to develop them so that in those moments when you have to go make a play, because there were times that I thought we did a really good job of rushing the passer and containing him. Even on that last play that Kevin picked the ball off, we had Patrick Payton and D-Mac did a good job of breaking the pocket. Then Jared Jackson stayed on his feet and kind of altered the throw. And that's all about trying to play team football. To your second part, Ira, Kalen, he's one of our best open field tackle players. And, he wasn't always that Friday night. He would admit that, but he had some really good plays too. It's for us, it's to constantly continue to push the tempo that we're playing fast enough, playing smart enough, and just in those moments of those space plays of making sure that we have good angles and we don't get over speed on some of those plays, and I think it comes down to some of the pursuit, but just angles and the fundamentals of how you play. When you play against really good players, you'll come back and sit on the bench and say, well, this happened and this happened. And when you really take a look at it, it's like, no, this is how it played. This is exactly how we thought it would play, and this has to be your reaction. Okay, coach, I got it. Because speed does that to you. It does that to offenses. All of a sudden, when a guy blitzes with unbelievable speed, offense will think it's something different. It's really the same stuff. It's just the guy doing it plays with an unbelievable amount of energy and speed that it looks different. And I think that's an important thing to continue to process for us.
You mentioned team play. Losing Jared Verse in the second quarter was rough. How do you think? Who do you think stepped up, and how do you think the team overall performed after that loss?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want anybody to go down, but that's inevitable, unfortunately, in this sport. It just created more opportunity for Pat Payton, Derek McClendon. Dennis Briggs played, 50-50 inside and outside with a couple of guys that we lost inside too. So just creates different roles, and it's our job to manage that in practice to make sure the guys are getting the right snaps. But listen, we've recruited so that if guys get banged up or ding, there are guys in place. Leonard Warner had more snaps. Patrick Payton, those two had significant more snaps than they had the previous 2 games. And some of it was deserved, but some of it just comes with opportunity sometimes when somebody does go down that's eating up most of the snaps.
It seemed like Louisville was getting fairly consistent push off the point of attack. Is that something that is just based on their scheme with the zone stretch stuff that kind of allows for that, or is that something that has to be better with the attacking unit moving forward?
Yeah, most of it wasn't even stretch plays. It was just kind of downhill inside zone stuff, and some of it got just misfit. It was just guys playing with each other, and and some of it was just they did a good job. And we've got to be better in some of those instances, especially in the run game. That was uncharacteristic of our front, and something that we've obviously got to fix, and something that we've got to improve upon, and that'll be addressed.
It seemed like maybe the best stretch of the game was kind of for the defense in the immediate aftermath of Jordan's injury. I know he plays on the other side of the ball. Coach Norvell talks about response. Do you think that's something, probably could have gone either way, where that's where response showed up of the team?
It was 2 things there, right? First of all, you want to teach the guys that no matter what happens, stay focused on your job. But you also preach team and unity and togetherness. And so it's all the same, right? And, just like what we talked about when we had a touchdown in game 1 of a young freshman, the whole team came together. Like, don't be naive to think that doesn't mean something to everybody. And, when your quarterback goes down, it's just like if we turn the ball over, not trying to compare those things, but, when we have to go and take the field, and just like the offense picked us up sometimes, or the kicking game has picked both sides up this year, that's part of being a good football team. We go out there and practice, offense wants to win, defense wants to win, but part of winning is when one side is maybe losing some momentum, the other side picks it up, or they play off of each other in a positive way as well. So, we don't want anybody to go down, but it was good. The most encouraging thing throughout that game was to see our guys' response throughout, adversity. We were on the road, guys were going down, and, they were playing better than us at multiple phases. But to see our guys stick with it, stick with the plan, it didn't take anything over the ordinary to change, but just our guys stayed with it. They kept punching, and they kept fighting, and, we find ways to win games right now.
I guess you kind of answered it there, that you guys just kept punching, but just, late game defense was something that we asked you about coming out of game 2, and the way you guys played, on Friday night late game defense, it, seemed very much more improved. I guess what can you credit the better execution to? Is it simply just staying with it and keep punching, or was there a growth and maturity that maybe you guys entered Friday night with?
I think there's a confidence at the end of the game, but that's built out there, and our guys believed it. You go through 2-minute scenarios every week, and you say, listen, this is what you're going to get. And, sometimes the guys just got to trust it, instead of, well, what if this, what if that? And, like I said, there were multiple guys, and, there was a 4th and 2 play that we probably should have had them down. It should never have gone to that point. But it did, and our guys kept playing, and, it was a credit to the front. They created pressure, and, everybody stayed on their people, and that was important. And then Kevin made a great play at the end, So the training, the preparation, it's all about building the confidence. But then you got to see that confidence turn in reality and turn into winning football. And we're seeing that now. Listen, we want to dominate. We want to go 3 and out. We want to get takeaways. We want to score on every drive. And that's got to be our mission. And that's got to be what the end result has to be. But it's still how you do it. And I think our guys are connecting, not being satisfied with just winning the game, and more trying to find ways to help so that we have those 3 and outs. We have those touchdown drives. We have that where you play great football with the 11 guys on the field, no matter who's out there. But our guys know what it looks like right now. It's about trying to replicate that each series. And that's hard to do, but the great teams do it. And they do it for 12, 13, 14 series a game. And that's what we have to demand, and that's what we need to get out of this football team.
Kind of a 2-part about the corners. First of all, Renardo, obviously, as a tackler, he seems to be doing really well. How is he doing as a starter corner? And then the other spot with Duke not being available all the time, I know you're trying multiple guys. Are the younger guys, are they getting close to pushing for playing time, or is it pretty much the older guys still?
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever say this is what it is because it's constantly competition, truthfully. Duke being down, like he gave us his guts in the LSU game. We're trying to get him back. I don't want to keep going backwards by sending him out there. He played 3 or 4 plays in that game. He did not play much. And partly even those plays were just, we had played a decent amount of football there. Renardo's helping us on special teams. He's doing a really good job in coverage right now. Even the PI that he had was just one of those good quarterback, gets in a little bit of space and people overreact to a play. And him and Akeem both on that play. But for the most part, when Renardo's been in one-on-one coverage, he's done a really good job. And he's strong. He's strong around the ball, and he's a really good tackler. The other corner spot, kind of rotated with Greedy and Jarian Jones throughout that game, and Kevin played nickel most of the game. But that rotation, with Duke being out, was like that. But the young guys do. Listen, I think we've got 2 really good young players. We're seeing it with Shaheem in his second year, really starting to take off. I don't think it'll take all that for these guys. Sam's doing a great job with kickoff returns. Azari, he's doing a really nice job. It's just about constantly trying to improve on the things that need to for that group, and opportunity will come, and there'll be a time in this season that you're going to see some of these guys out there together, and it's going to be critical that they play well.
Boston College is really going through it on their offensive line right now in terms of injuries. The fact that maybe you won't know who their starting 5 is going to be, does that make it easier for you guys just to focus on who you have to be and just worry about your guys' responsibilities? And just your thoughts on Phil Dracovic and Isaiah Flowers as well.
That was a lot of question. Yeah, it's more of a statement. Yeah, statement, question. Okay. Listen, it's today and last night is very much about them from a standpoint of you're trying to find the identity, who it is. They have a new play caller, same quarterback, same dynamic receiver, different people up front. So, you're always trying to identify who the threats are, what their strengths are, and trying to work through all that. The second part about their quarterback, he's played in this league for 3 years now, and he's been successful. And, I think him, he gave us some problems last year just getting out of the pocket and creating. We probably hit him as much as we've hit a quarterback, and, it was hard to bring him down. And so, he's a leader for them, and he's somebody that's been really productive in this league. And then number 4, Flowers, is one of the better playmakers in our league, if not the country. And you can see a concerted effort for them to try to get him the football. He's carrying the ball behind the line of scrimmage more probably than he did last year. You're still seeing the down-the-field throws to him. You're still seeing some of the intermediate routes of trying to get him the ball, running laterally as well. So, those are 2 veteran playmakers in the ACC, and everybody's got injuries at this point in the year, and I'm sure they're not trying to make any excuses. They're just trying to get better from it, just like we are. And so, I'm looking forward to the preparation this week.
Brendan, for the last one. No pressure. So for Brendan Gant, he's expanded his role throughout the season. He's got more comfortable at the linebacker, contributing on special teams. I guess, what have you seen from him to really buy into this position change and to find ways to contribute?
I told him at the end of the game that he inspires me. To see what he did on those 2 coverage units and go down there and make those open field plays, and then see his energy on the sideline on a game that, listen, Brendan Gant was a starting safety here for a number of games. And, now he's a backup linebacker, giving us 10 snaps. But, it's a great lesson to be learned from a lot of people, including coaches. When somebody just makes a decision to just be better consistently every day and not worry about the outside noise, not worry about, what position he's playing or what jersey number or what his reps look like, and he really focuses on self-improvement. Brendan Gant played 10 snaps at linebacker, and that's probably going to go up. He's sticking to the plan, and he's showing up every day. He's trying to help his teammates, and he's focusing on improvement. And he's becoming a really important player on this football team right now this year.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. See you guys.